or somebody KKPH, and of course it won't load for me, but I can see your chat. Master Kings, Large Pins, Grammy, Pam, surprise, Raylene Patriot, all you guys. We're here to do the art of it all. What does it look like, mission critical, to influence in your gifting, right? So my guest today, and I hope you'll share and join in, my guest today is Richard Shepard. This is Richard Shepard. I need to tell you, hey Andrea, Super Harp. These are the little, see this? This means they're connected to us. That means we have no idea what's really happening. Good morning, Raylene. Okay, so can I tell you all a little story? And then we're gonna do some stuff. We're gonna do this stuff because yesterday on my live stream I talked about how the fear-free living thing, and this is mostly just for the singing part of today. The fear-free living thing. Can you hear me, by the way? Are our volumes coming through? Okay, checking. I need to know that we're good and that you can hear us. And then when we start playing the music, we're also going to ask for your feedback to know how the sound is. But yesterday, after all the upheaval, I couldn't bring myself. Hello, Richard Shepard, says Raylene. I've got a awesome brother who's a saxophone player in Germany. He's a jazz musician who's super supportive. Yesterday I talked about, in the wake of all of the darkness and all of the control of what it sounds good, of what they want us to talk about and think about and be obsessed with, I just refuse to be obsessed with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and let me tell you who Richard is, and then we're gonna, this scope will probably go a little bit long because we're gonna do some art, music, worship with you today. But Richard, I met because I invited you to come to a Dream Farm Cafe event where we were having jazz and arts events. And I don't remember who turned me on to your music, but Richard is part of Amaranouche, which is a gypsy jazz trio.
Well, we call it Gypsy Flamenco Swing.
Oh, did you catch that?
Gypsy
Flamenco Swing.
But it's, gypsy jazz was kind of like the beginnings of it, and it's just grown from there. So, all things, we grow.
My interest in music is always, how does jazz influence other genres? How does jazz expand it into an art form that we can see shape our sounds and kind of enrich us? And so when the fact that you called it gypsy jazz was like ding.
Well, that was just the whole Django connection at that point.
Django
Reinhardt. At that point, I mean, we were one of the few gypsy jazz ensembles, trios that were doing that style of music in the United States. Maybe one of maybe 30 at that point, and the genre has grown exponentially. So, and subsequently, the style that I've always been going for, which is more or less rhythmic, like flamenco-ish, developed as well. So that's what happened with the group.
So it's a beautiful group because you have the guy playing what's called the pomp, which is the rhythmic accompaniment on the guitars, very specific for this style of gypsy jazz swing. Right. And then you are the soloist.
Well, the pomp.
A 30s vibe almost in that, and then
it's a very Parisian style, by the way.
Oh yeah, so he solos over that, and you have this bass player. So they came to Dream Farm to do shows with us. We actually did a special concert together at the Lawrence Barn. This is I'm really overcoming performance terror now, mind you. We're first meeting, and then I made the mistake. No, the great decision to have you eat a meal with us before one of our shows here, and we started to feel family. We started to be like, okay, wait, I think I know. I think there's more going on here than just the music. And we started to talk about the heart. And Richard is a very deep and multi-layered thinker, but he's also a patriot. He's also a believer. He's an artist, and the richest conversations.
A human being, a fellow human being, involved and deeply desirous of a furthering understanding of humanity. That's what's that I think that connects us all through God, through our love of Jesus, and through our forward motion. I think that's something that we all share.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
share that.
Yeah.
It's just a very.
And we've
very
always tried
easy
to, I mean,
thing.
you know, guys, where I stand, but we've always tried to make this a place too where I could have good conversations with people on a journey of where we're at with these various things. And so some of you know that I got into some heated, discussions on Facebook, not from my end, but just questioning. I posted a post about true liberalism was the ability to question everything and to ask about the narrative and to have really healthy discussions and not be afraid to say what we were really thinking and to shake it up. And apparently that was inflammatory to some people. But Shep jumped right in. Do you remember what you posted that day? It was something like, they want us divided. They want us not to talk. They don't want us to be connecting. And when I saw his post there, my heart just warmed, and I immediately Facebooked back, we have to be together now, and we need to play music in person now. No Zoom. This is it. We got to be together. That
And
was, what, a month or so.
Control the narrative, control the media, control the people, and that's just basically two Goebbels-esque meaning in reference to the propagandist of the Nazi Party, Goebbels. So we have to avoid that and just be real about things. The idea of facts and truth are very, very different things. Many times facts are many and topical, truths are very few, and they're immutable.
Yeah.
And these are the things that I think that folks who are interested in the reality of what is happening in a sense of long term, that's how we connect. We call ourselves, or patriots or believers. We are connected through a common sense of human decency. And I think that's really important, that not saying that others aren't decent. It's just that there's a way of doing it that is more to the bone rather than in a standoffish fashion. And that's what we need. That's what we support and try to foster.
Yeah.
As a journey, as you say.
Yeah. And so I knew at a point when people were still afraid to connect, I said, we've got to be together. There's something about the togetherness, and people will make decisions based on their situations, what is best for their own health and so forth.
Absolutely.
But I knew we needed to be together. And I knew there was something that had to be proximity based and connection based, and that it was really, really important in so many ways. So that's what's happening today. And I talked yesterday, and then we're going to...
She said she was going to make hamburgers too.
That's really... And so I will get to the music shortly, but I'm sort of setting up something, because yesterday, and we're going to have Presence Jazz here. We're going to have some incredible music, because yesterday I said that moving out of this season of Pentecost and sequestering and now hunkering down in crisis, the response of the enlightened just means you got light in you, right? The response of the alive people is going to be to get to work, is to do the thing you were created to do. The best response to the terror and the trauma is to take your gift and go ahead and give it to the world, and just get busy making your plans to bring your light, your peace, your calling, your Jesus to the world, right? And how you do that in your unique way. And so mine is in the arts arena, and Shep's is in the arts arena. And so we're going to bring you some music that is going to be in that Presence Jazz. Well, it's not super jazz, but I say jazz because it's a big playing field. He's a jazz musician. I'm a jazz influenced musician, so you'll hear those sounds. And we're going to take you to some new places you haven't heard before, because it's time.
Yeah.
It's time to bring a healing, what do we say, vibration into the atmosphere.
We're all looking for ourselves. We're all looking for ourselves all the time, whether we want to admit it or not.
What do you mean by that?
Well, our sense of self within the world and how we are moving through it and what we're doing in serving our greater humanity, rather than, what is in it for us. I mean, what's in it for us is we are placed within something wonderfully larger than ourselves. We are part of something that is beautiful. I call it God's love. It's the universe. It is beyond our reason. And coming to it as child, not adult, allows one to just sort of accept these things and just get on with it. Just get on with it. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. Just get on with it,
Do we want to just get on with it, or do
Yeah.
we want to be alive?
All the above. All the above. There, the idea of reason is prideful. So taking that idea and just allowing yourself to move towards your greater purpose, and what that means is whatever is vibrationally good. Things happen in a way in your heart that you just know this is good. It gives you center. So, and everybody's doing that.
Yeah.
Everybody
we
does.
want, and that's what we want to encourage people, is to get past the trauma and release the frequencies that God caused you to resonate. You're an instrument, right? So there are things that you will say, you will do, how you will move, that are in frequency with God, how God's created you. Just the sound, the movement, the activation of His presence in you. And now more than ever, artists and musicians need to bring that to the world. So we're going to do a little medley based on a piece I wrote, and this painting actually is part of it. It's not the whole. I have two paintings that go with it. The piece is based on a Jewish prayer called "The breath of every living thing will give you praise." Even if our eyes are shining like the sun and our hands are raised like the eagle's wings, and we could sing like the stars, we could never ever give thanks to God for the thousands and thousands and multitudes of kindnesses He's done. Even if our tongues were like the crashing of the sea, there's a seascape that goes with this song to embody the crashing of the sea. And so what you're going to hear today is a brand new worship piece that I wrote last week while I was I was sequestered and quiet, and I took some time off. I wrote this piece based on Jude chapter 1, and then we're going to pair it together with Nishmat Kol Hai, the kind of soloistic piece that goes with this painting. Check, here we go. How does that sound? Let's try this. La da 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 da, da 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 da. Now you play something. You gotta tell us how that sounds. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Does that sound good? Can you write me some textifies? Da 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 da. Do you think I'm too loud still? A little too loud? The guitar?
I think,
Sound good? I see hearts here. Now I'm here in the angle that I'm on, not because he's less important, it's just because my desktop is still not working. So I have my laptop on, and it sounds nice. Thank you, Don Richardson, the sound surgeon. I wish you were here to sound surgeon me, to make it all better, but you're not. So we're doing our best. And all right, so this is supposed to be presence music. And this is just to bring art because it's my assignment. It's my assignment in heaven. I want to do this. I wonder if it's going to go like this, if I can shift it just slightly. Is that better? I don't know. Now there's this big white thing behind you. Anyway, hey, let's try that. There. All right, so guys, I hope this music really reaches in and shifts because it's an assignment. I talked yesterday about how we need to be busy doing what we were created to do and not let the enemy control the story and cause us to obsess over what he wants us to think about. And so over this last week that I took off, one of the things I did was to write this music and then put it together with Nishmat Kol Hai, which is an artistic piece you're going to hear. So you're going to hear 3 songs interwoven with Richard Shepard doing the solos And once we get started, I can't do many changes. But I think that we did a little test, and it sounded pretty good. So, all right, brother. Are you ready?
Yep.
All
Let's
right.
go.
To the one and only God, our Savior and Lord, through our Messiah, Master Yeshua, to the one and only God, our Savior and Lord, through our Messiah, Master Yeshua, be glory and majesty, praise and dominion. Be glory and majesty, power and dominion. Be glory and majesty, power and dominion. Amen. To the one and only God, our Savior and Lord, through our Messiah, Master Yeshua, to the one and only God, our Savior and Lord, through our Messiah, Master Yeshua, be glory and majesty, power and dominion. Be glory and majesty, power and dominion. Be glory and majesty, power and dominion for eternity. For eternity, for eternity, to the one who can keep us from stumbling and pray, make us stand faultless before him with fullness of joy. For the one who can keep us from stumbling and make us stand faultless before him with fullness of joy. With glory and power and la 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 la, glory and majesty, power and dominion. Be 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 glory and majesty, power and dominion. For eternity. For eternity. For eternity. For even if our mouths were filled with song as the sea, and our tongues were filled with joyful song as its crashing waves, we could not sufficiently give thanks to thee. Even if our hands were spread out as the eagle's wings, and our feet were nimble as the deer, tripping on the mountains, we could not sufficiently give thanks to thee. Oh, for the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and multitudes of kindnesses you have done for our fathers and for us. We could not sufficiently give thanks to thee. We could not sufficiently give thanks to thee. We could not sufficiently give thanks to thee. We could not sufficiently give thanks. you. Even if our lips were filled with acclamation like the expanse of the sky, and our eyes were shining like the sun, the moon and the stars, we could not sufficiently, we could not sufficiently give thanks. Therefore these limbs you carved out for us, the spirit and soul you breathed into us, the tongues that you placed in our mouths, these will give thanks, bless, acclaim, glorify, sanctify, lift up, and enthrone your name. Breath of every living thing will bless your name. Breath of every living thing will bless your name. Breath of every living thing will bless your name. Nishmat Kol. Come, thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing your grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount, I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming love. Teach me some, ode to grace, how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness like a fetter bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal it for thy courts above. Jesus sought me when a stranger, wandering from the fold of God, he to rescue me from danger interposed his precious blood. Teach me some melodious sonnet sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount, I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming love. Wow. Wow.
Thanks.
No,
Thanks.
thank you. You know, of all the times we played this today, we were playing and we're messing with the changes, right? And it was like busy and just full of energy, like, dude, I just missed you so much. I've just missed you. And we missed each other's hearts, you know, through this separation, whatever that thing was, you know. And then we sat down now and we just pulled back. We just pulled back and gave the Spirit the microphone, in essence. Did you feel it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the great thing about the moment is it is our window into eternity. And if they can be as joyous as possible, our eternity will have that possibility. And that's the nature of awareness, I believe, in some regards.
Well, you know, you got to be alive to have a relationship with God. You know, the intimacy. Like He'll take us dulled and dead and broken and hard, right? He'll take us because we're unredeemed and by very nature we need to be made alive in Christ, right? We're dead, right? And then He says, you want to have intimacy with me, you want to know me, I have to make you present. Now I have to call you out. Now you have to start to feel. Now you have to start to awaken and be able to be with me because I'm there with you in the present. And the present for a terrified, fearful, anxious person is the hardest place to be.
You know, on this group, Fear-Free Living, one of the things that I like is that what is welcoming about the group is...
That's my Facebook group, right?
That's the Facebook group, right? Is the idea of the welcoming of brokenness and the openness towards transformation beyond that. And that's what we're talking about here, is being able to transform, being able to transcend brokenness. Because we're all broken in one way or another in various parts of our lives. And if we have a trust in God through a connection with Jesus, we are good. We are very good in that regard because it's just a continuing conversation.
Raylene said she listened to this outside under a tree with her earbuds on and she felt the frequency of the Spirit.
All right.
So that's really good.
That's good.
I know. So my vision is this, that I would play with people who are so much better than me all the time that they would that we could we could go places I could never go on my own. No, seriously, I'm asking God to bring me the cream of His creative crop and to explore music that we can all move into together. That's a little different than we're used to, and a breakout thing, and that will develop a tolerance to stretch. You know, the moment where you leave anxiety is a stretching moment where you want to just fill it with the buzz of your next whatever you do to fill. And so to move into, guys, like, you know, when you read a book that's thicker than you wanted to read, it's not a blog post, it's not a however many character Twitter feed, it's like I'm reading a book about the life of Jesus written by a Jew before World War II. He's written a biography of the life of Jesus, and it's absolutely brilliant. He must have been a believer. And the language in the book is thick and dense and requires me to stop and think about how he said it, and I can't just go, just tell me what happened. Tell me, give me a page turner. Right?
It's called mental chewing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Mental chewing is a good thing.
Right. And so we
works as Hercule Poirot said. Works the little gray cells.
What is it? Works.
It works the little gray cells.
That's not how he said it. It works the little gray cells.
Yeah, that kind of.
But it works the little gray cells. But what I'm saying is art and music that we're not used to works the little gray cells, and sounds that you just wanna find the 3-chord chorus and move on, right? And so I have a vision for us working the little gray cells together with musicians that really are in another place, and we can explore and become more and more present for for an experience of God that calls us beyond our quick fix worshipy sounds and our quick fix anxious next tweet and whatever that's about, right?
Yeah, well, the conversation is one of those things that only can occur if there is a willingness to converse. I mean, that sounds so obvious, but conversation is more about listening than it is speaking. It really is.
Yeah. Do you want to, though, say anything musically on your? I mean, this guy's a guitar master, and he also can just sit here and do a solo thing. Would you like to end just to hear some Richard? I mean, well, obviously what you carry it's bigger than you, but I would love that we could just honor your gift and let you play something, a solo for us, and then we'll let you go. Remember, the theme here is that you have an assignment. Mine is in the arts and media, so after Pentecost, my assignment was to begin to bring you guys things like this with hopefully new power. And so you have an assignment, so I want you to be thinking about that while you can you give us some of your assignment, friend?
Well, the assignment is always to stay vigilant, stay aware, and be open to the possibilities coming your way as a result of those things.
Yeah.
So.
But your voice has so often been in the guitar, and that's what I want to hear.
Well, I'll do
May
I'll do minimal song.
What's it called? Are you playing a
Minimal.
And did you write it?
Yeah.
Of course. Okay, let's hear this. Hear a little with influence of his flamenco jazz swing.
That's it.
Okay, so in that you're hearing, and we'll kind of wrap up our scope now, but what you're hearing is also his ability to hear the harmonies that are going under that and the bass notes that are going to take, and he's not only shaping the melody, but he was giving us hints about the harmonies and the bass notes as he's going through and conceiving this and conceiving the comping underneath yourself with the parts, the melody on the top. So it's very like super layered what you just heard here in terms of, and I think I've heard you do that tune as the trio. I think I have.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, super cool. So by the way, if you want to hear the full thing, you can go to amerinush.com.
I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Okay. The only reason why I was able to do that is because she promised me a hamburger.
I promise. Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying is that
That's the truth.
we need, it's true, I'm going to feed him right now, is that we need people who help us conceive of shapes and sounds of music, worship, art, communication in a fresh way. So thank you, because he just came up and just poured out his heart, and all I can say to that is, Amen, amen. So do something that scares you, like do a scope with a friend and put it out there and bring your gift, because the proof of Pentecost is in your next move to be released in your gifting, in your influence, greater risk, with God showing up in greater power to back you as you do his thing through you with your voice. And right now is not a time to be obsessing. It's a time to be advancing and releasing our gifts. So
Be empowered by that which moves you.
be empowered by that. How about lunch?
Lunch.
All right, you guys.